Welcome to Speed Scene Live TV, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers, M&H Tires, and TheFote.com. With your hosts, Diana-Mite, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex Rogio, Bob Beck, Bryant Layton, with Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne.
Welcome to the show. This is Lucky, and man, it feels good to be back in the studio again. You know, I'm not in my toter home at a Walmart or a Love's truck stop. I'm in a real studio. Oh, this is great. You know, normally it's just me. I'm talking to my phone.
The drama of it all.
You know, it's just not the same. Tonight, I'm here in Hollywood, California with the lovely, the talented Diana-Mite.
Happy to be back, Lucky. I know all our viewers missed us as much as we missed them.
Well, and I'm also here with Hot Rod Bob Beck.
That's right.
Was that a salute?
Hey, try that again. I want to see that again. Well, it works for me.
And, of course, the man that we couldn't do the show without, Bruce Barker. He's got the know-how.
The glue to Speed Scene Live is Bruce Barker. He
is
holds
that what's
it together.
been stuck on my shoe?
With or without us, yes.
One of us has to be the smart guy. Unfortunately, it's not me. But tonight, we've got some great stuff. You know, I've been traveling all over this great country, and tonight we've got some footage, like this footage right here from the Great Bend, Kansas track. The SRCA.
That's a Studebaker.
It's a Studebaker, and this is one of the Rocky Mountain Superchargers. I got to put a special thank you out to the Rocky Mountain Superchargers, man. They came in with great cars. They put on a great show. Beautiful cars, great people, and you know, Diana-Mite, they did this cool thing. They went into town at a car dealer. They set up some dragsters at the dealer. They did like an open house, radio promotion, had everyone come down, and in the radio ad it said, come on down and meet the Rocky Mountain Superchargers, see a nostalgia dragster, and then watch them at the track this afternoon at Great Bend.
Wow. You know, every time you talk about the Rocky Mountain Superchargers, you know, I think of Rocky Mountain oyster feasts. Yeah.
It's not the same at all.
Stick. Every time you say the word Rocky Mountain, that's what comes to mind.
Wow, what an odd mind.
It's whatever you grew up with, Lucky.
Well, another racer that was out here is the Last Starfighter. This is a very popular, very famous car.
Wow.
This Pro Mod was out there, and there's a great story. We're going to show, this was the first warm-up pass that he did. He just kind of did a little, 60-foot.
Is that car really little, or is that guy really tall?
Well, that guy's really tall. In fact, I'm not sure, but I think that's the guy whose sister is on Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Is that
really?
right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He doesn't look anything like her, luckily.
Well, he kind of looks like a gunfighter, doesn't he?
He looks like one heck of a hunk of man. That's what I gotta say.
Well, I would never say that myself.
No.
But let me tell you, these guys, they were on the end of a 2-week thrash. They used up every spare part in their arsenal. They came out. Now, they wanted to make the event. They wanted to make the race. We've got an interview with them. We've got tons of footage we're going to show. This was just a quick pass to make sure everything worked.
Cool.
And then they came back later and they made another full-on one of their best passes ever. And I got to tell you, this was a beautiful car. Great team, and these guys put out a heck of an effort.
Is that paint or vinyl on the front end?
Paint.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Because it blends, the front end actually blends into the grill. If you got a really good view of that when we first showed that, it's phenomenal.
And they did another cool thing, too, that we'll show you later. This is I think a 73 Charger? Challenger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what's the main difference?
No, it's a whole different car. Challenger's the small pony car, whereas the Charger was the full-size car.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Well, they towed it in the lanes with the 2013 Dodge Challenger.
Oh, that would have been cool.
There you go. Nice, huh?
Awesome.
Nice, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, tonight we got a lot of stuff going on, but I want to ask everybody to send me cell phone pictures of your cars because we're getting a bunch. We're going to show a whole bunch, and we love it when you show us pictures, especially ones with Speed Scene Live logos on their car.
That is absolutely the truth. I love when that happens. Hey, want to let you know, June 29th at Bakersfield, stock, super stock combo race coming up. Man, the 29th is what, 4 days?
Oh, yeah, it's this weekend.
Outrageous. SoCal Super Street and SoCal Pro Gas can be holding holding two races at Bakersfield on one day. A lot of fumes in the air. That's right, 990 and 1090 racing in SoCal, along with these great stock and super stock cars. We're going to talk with one of the racers going on to that event this weekend, and we're going to talk to him tonight, so that'll rock and roll.
All right, now don't forget, tonight with gas, we're going to bring you all them Utes. You got Utes gas.
Utes?
Yeah,
gas.
Ute got gas tonight.
Ute got
Ute
gas.
got gas, yeah.
And speaking of special reports tonight, no Bryant Layton. He's on assignment assembling the next great piece for the GotBypass.com off-road report here on Speed Scene Live. So Bryant Layton will be joining us soon in the next couple of episodes right here at Speed Scene Live.
You know, Diana-Mite, I know you were going to tell us about the race this weekend at Bakersfield, but Bruce stepped in. You were
He did.
talking on the phone.
That's the kind of guy he is. He just kind of, he's the glue. He's the glue that holds his team together. So, when I have to run away and grab that phone, because we got a special guest calling in, well, Bruce takes over. Thanks, Bruce.
Now, Diana-Mite, I've been getting some crew updates on thefote.com,
Yeah.
and I'm talking to people, and one of the questions that people are asking is, are you happy to be back in studio? Because you haven't been in here for a while.
I am. Is everybody happy to have me back? Come on, boys and girls. I'm happy to be here. Of course I am.
Yes, we are. Oh, even the camera's happy.
Yes,
Wow.
I'm happy to be back. Of
An
course,
exciting
Lucky. Don't
camera.
be silly.
Look at that.
Yes.
For all you, now all the people in Kansas that are watching tonight that
your
go
heels
through tornadoes,
Oh, my
rain,
goodness.
hail, that little trick that Bruce just did with the camera, that's what an earthquake's like.
Yeah.
It lasts about that long, too.
Yeah, it's true.
And you laugh and you go, that was an earthquake.
No,
Yeah, we don't
I
have
run. I run and get under like a doorway or something.
We don't have earthquake warnings for hours and hours beforehand flashing across the
That's
street.
true. It just sort of happens. How
it happens.
Yeah, but you have heart palpitations for hours and hours after because you have aftershock. So, yes, don't act like we have it easy here in California just because it was 80 degrees today or anything like that. Don't act like, everything is just sunshine and beautiful because it's going to be about 85 tomorrow.
But my house, it's probably only going to be in the upper 60s, lower 70s. The beach is a little bit cooler.
Oh,
Well, not all of
trouble
us
at
can
the
live at the
beach.
beach.
Oh, yeah, beach.
Now, but, Diana-Mite, let's move on and let's start talking to our callers.
Well, let's go to line 1 and welcome Bob Aceves. Bob, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Hi guys, how you doing?
We're good. How you doing?
Hey, Bob, you
Good,
got a beautiful race car. You've got that great-looking car, and you're going to be competing this weekend out at Bakersfield. Are you a stock or a super stock racer?
I am a stock racer.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and tell people a little bit about your car, because I've seen it quite a bit. In fact, I think I almost ran into it in my golf cart.
He wasn't
Yeah,
paying
no,
attention.
I saw you coming. That's why I stopped.
Yeah, I felt bad. I slammed on the brakes, and I was like, holy crap, holy cow.
Yeah. So that's how you got on the show tonight, huh, Bob?
So tell us a little bit about your car.
The '68 Firebird that's got the 400 in it that originally came from the factory with a 400 and a 3-speed automatic, and with our stock rules, we're only allowed to make so many changes, when it comes to internal engine modifications and stuff like that. So,
Now,
but it's
one of my favorite things about the stock and the super stock are the wheelies. What kind of wheelie does your car put out?
well, it gets up there pretty good. I mean, probably the highest I've ever gone is probably about 4 feet.
4 feet?
Dude.
4 feet? I mean, you give Crazy Connie some competition.
Now, Bob, what class do you run?
I run D stock automatic.
What's the index or the dial?
It's a 1120 index,
Okay.
and right now we're running in the low 1060s.
Whoa.
Nice.
Wow.
Now, how did this race this weekend come about? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the Super Street and the Pro Gas. How did the stock super stock combo race become part of this weekend at Bakersfield?
Well, you know what it is Phil Mandela and Tony Mandela over at PMR Race Cars. We've all been kind of talking about this for the last couple of seasons of trying to get the local racers from Southern California and the Northern California area together to get something going kind of in the middle locally for us to be able to run our type of cars at. And simply because, the lack of tracks in Los Angeles right now, there's really not too many places for us to be able to race competitively against each other without having to travel 8 or 10 hours both ways.
That's right, and every once in a while a divisional or a national event rolls through, but not all the time.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and you can... It depends on how much you want to travel the NHRA circuit. I mean, we can go all the way across the United States, but
that's time and money.
It's a little easier said than done.
Now, have you got any sponsors? I know on the side of your card it says Bella Charms.
Yes, I do. BellaCharmShop.com. They've really stepped up to help me out this season, and I've also got T&D Rockers that's helped me out quite a bit.
What is Bella Charms? Let's go back to them because they seem to be your main one. What do they do?
Now, Bella Charm is basically a woman's Western-style clothing wear.
Oh, well, very good. Cool. Very good. So there's probably a website that women can go to for Western wear, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they do Western wear, and they do a lot of the bling-bling type stuff, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the bling-bling.
Yeah.
So does your backup girl have a Western outfit? No. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
She wears cowboy boots and hot pants.
No, it seems to be the Miss Me's and stuff like that seem to be real popular nowadays.
Oh. I found it at BellaCharmShop.com.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I found it right there. It says city girl, country girl, what you think? And boy, there's all these pictures of pretty girl. Oh wait, what was I thinking? What was I talking about? Sorry, I got distracted.
Where's that charm again?
You boys are bad.
Well, Bob, thanks for calling. We look forward to this weekend. Good luck, by the way. I hope you do well out there in the Bella Charm Firebird. But, the main thing is we're just happy to see stock and super stock racers having a venue, as well as the super gas and the super street guys, too.
Well, thanks, Scott. And I'd also like to send a shout-out because we've got, Mickey Thompson kicking down. California Car Covers is coming out. Hughes Performance. And we also got Performance Speed and Custom. And then PMR Race Cars is really coming through, as well as Freight Company that's pitching in as well. So I definitely want to give those guys a thank you very much for what they're doing to help us out.
Good.
And of course, mention that PMR aren't they a race car fabrication company that kind of specializes in cars like yours? They do excellent work.
Yes, excellent fabrication work. PMR Race Cars, Phil Mandela and Tony Mandela, they really put out an awesome product.
Yeah, they're racers.
They build a lot of stock super stockers.
Yeah.
And he's doing a lot of other things as well. He's starting to expand into different areas.
And Phil is a racer that builds race cars. He's not just a guy that builds cars for people.
He is a very good racer as well.
Nice. Well, Bob, thanks a lot. Good luck. And also, I want to put a special thank you to you, Bob, for putting that Speed Scene Live sticker on your car. So we appreciate you racing this weekend with that Speed Scene Live sticker on there.
And showing the love.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much, and thank you for everything you guys are doing for Sportsman Race. You guys are great.
You got it. Now, we'll talk to you later, Bob. Another racer that I spoke to out at Great Bend was a guy that had a really fast Impala, and we had a chance to talk to him, did a little interview with him, and this is the car that he's racing. And
look at that!
That's a lot of car.
It's a big, heavy Chevy.
It's a big, heavy car, and but let's take a moment, and we're going to talk to the driver of this car. This is Dr. Travis.
Doc?
And he's going to tell us a little bit about a car that may explode and catch fire.
For no apparent reason.
No apparent reason.
I absolutely love that little legend.
Touche.
I had to put that on because that was just cool. I've got my driver wears earplugs. He can't hear you. I like that one. Let's talk to him now. I'm talking to Dr. Travis Davis. He's got this beautiful, fast Impala. Travis, I understand. I've heard some rumors. People say that you are trying to be the first 200-mile-per-hour Impala.
Yeah, we're going to try very hard. Yes, sir.
Now, I don't know if you're trying tonight or that's a long-term goal.
That's down the road, right?
Down the road. Now, you have this beautiful car called Fuelish Money. Tell us a little bit about the car.
Bought the car originally back in 2001. It's a rolling all steel car. We put a blown small block in it, which is actually the same motor I've got in it now. Ran 920s at 145 mile an hour with a 134 off the foot brake. I foot braked this car.
That's a big, heavy car, too.
Yes, it is. And then we had we actually stored the car in my hometown, which was Greensburg, Kansas, and it survived the EF5 tornado in 2007.
Wow.
So it survived the tornado, but it didn't survive me and my brother. We decided to cut the car up, and we made it a 6-flat cert car. I put a blown 414 small block in it, ran 780s at 170 with a 110 60 foot off the foot brake last year. Took that motor out of the car. And we're selling it. We put the small motor back in. It's a 355 stock block Chevrolet, 12 pounds of boost. And we ran 863 last pass at 155 miles an hour.
Well, here comes one of the officials of the Rocky Mountain Superchargers, so I'm going to let you go, but we're going to try to get you on film on this pass.
Thank you.
Well, you know, this guy was a great guy, him and his brother. Beautiful car. This is a pair of Rocky Mountain Superchargers getting ready to make a pass in, you know, really nice people, really beautiful craftsmanship on this vehicle. And, you know, first Impala to go 200 miles an hour, that'd be pretty cool, huh?
You know, I like the way it's lowered. It gives it that really sleek sled look.
Boy,
It's interesting, too, they went for a white color, because very often those cars, because of their sort of size and square bulk, you know, they go for black.
Right, because it makes it look leaner.
Yeah, and very sinister looking, yeah.
It's a great white whale now.
Kind of like a giant refrigerator going down the track.
There you go.
Hey, let's take a break, and when we come back, we've got more Pro Mod action, more Rocky Mountain Superchargers, more Speed Scene Live Nationals. We got Hot Rod Bob Beck, and of course, Bruce Barker and the lovely, the talented Diana-Mite. We'll see you in a bit.
Hey, this is Ron Capps, and you're watching Speed Scene Live.
For over half a century, Curry rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Curry lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Curry gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Curry expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Curry's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Curry Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts, like correct link steering systems, keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Curry rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at curryenterprises.com. Welcome back to more of Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, and TheFote.com.
And we are back. Thanks for joining us for the everyone in studio edition of the show. After many, many weeks, I'm Bruce Barker. There's Diana-Mite.
Welcome.
There's Lucky Hudson.
Oh, yeah.
There's Hot Rod Bob.
Howdy doody.
All right. I know the Great American Auto Scene is coming up as well.
It
right?
is.
All right. And lots more footage, of course, from the Speed Scene Live Nationals and all sorts of great stuff like, ooh, look at that.
Yeah, well, this is Adam Paul. I figured a daytime shot, you know, the Fuelish Money. I like that, you
But do
know.
you have the camera on the ground there?
Well, I was actually using the big cameras out there.
Thanks.
And,
Thank you, Donnie Couch.
Thank you, Donnie Couch. Thank you, Ken, for your technical assistance. And if you see the flags, you'll notice that it's a little windy. I was having issues with the wind kind of blowing me around with the big cameras. With the little tiny cameras, it's not so bad.
You need to eat a little more of that fried food they sell back east, Lucky.
Well,
that'll keep you stabilized with the wind.
Some of the footage is a little choppy, so I started putting it on the ground, putting it on my knee, putting it on. Well, I'm not supposed to put it on the guardrail, I don't think. But so I won't say I did that. No, I won't do that. But. We did have the opportunity to see a lot of great racing. We did catch a little weather, though, on Saturday. And,
was that the day that you called me and they had moved everybody into the metal buildings?
They told people, bring your cars. And see those metal buildings in the background? Yeah. Those are the expo buildings. And they said, bring it on over, because if that hail comes, it's going to make a mess. And the thing that was so impressive to me, here's one of the winners of last year's Speed Scene Live Nationals in this dragster here.
And a nice sticker on the scoop.
Was he wearing his jacket? His winner's jacket?
He had it. He was wearing his driver's jacket, obviously. Okay. But I want to thank him because he put that sticker on last year and it's been on all year. And he did very well out there last year. Not so well this year, but he went a bunch of rounds. This was one of the cars that did well this year and, went some rounds. He's one of the quick door cars. But there were all kinds of fantastic cars out there.
Oh, look at that beautiful truck.
Is this a great truck?
What's that, like 56, 57?
Yeah, 55 to
body.
$57.
Yeah. But look at it's modified on the rear end.
Yeah, it certainly
it's
is.
Modified quite a bit.
I think it might be modified under the hood too.
Yeah. You think?
I kind of thought that rear end sort of looked like an ice cream truck or something. Helms Bakery.
You were waiting for them to roll out the donuts.
Or maybe one of those utes that Bob's going to talk about later.
Yeah, we got the ute for you. Yeah.
I got to tell you though, the Kansas racers are fantastic. A lot of these people told me they live by tracks in Wichita and other areas, and they drive past those tracks and come to Great Bend because Great Bend is such a great facility. The people that run it are so nice. Check out the boards in the center of the track there. And another thing that's fantastic about this track is that weather I was talking about. All of a sudden everyone's packing it up and put your stuff away. Well, nobody left. Nobody went home. They just kicked back, let the storm come through. After the storm came through, we didn't get as bad as they thought we might. After that storm rolled through, they dried the track. People pulled their stuff out. And it was really kind of nice to just hang out for like an hour talking to the other racers.
Well, after we saw the year before, Lucky, what happened in Bowling Green with all that rain and sitting there and talking to those kids that were going to prep the track, I mean, they were just sure that we were going to race within the hour, and sure enough, we did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just that we raced. We raced on a perfect track.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad track. So
after the rains, I mean, the track was thrashed, but they knew how to get it back to just the right texture so that we could race.
Well, we've got a clip coming up of one of the Rocky Mountain Superchargers that was driving a 55, and this gentleman right here is one of the pioneers of pro mods. Let's talk to him.
Really?
Lucky here at the Speed Scene Live Nationals, and I'm talking to Lanier Henry.
You are known as one of the most influential and flamboyant racers of the Rocky Mountain Superchargers. How do you feel about a title like that?
Line it up.
Bring it?
You bet. Bring it.
Now,
I hope you bring enough, too.
I met you earlier, and we were just sort of talking while they were drying the track out here at Great Bend, and man, you have got a effervescent personality. You're the kind of guy that you can just talk, and you never seem to be boring. You've always got some interesting tidbit.
We've got good racers, and if you talk to them and bring them along, then you end up with good racers. We need every racer we can get.
Now, can you tell me a little bit about this car? You've got this beautiful car, a lot of years of experience.
Well, it's a 55 Chevy Bel Air. I bought it in 1962 when I was running a crusher, and I couldn't crush 55 Chevys. So I've had plenty of 55 Chevys, and this one was a bracket car in 1980. And they said, well, no blown alcohol. Well, I don't appreciate that. So I went ahead and put a blower and alcohol on it, and they told me to go away. And then they started paying me to show up. And eventually they started a class called Pro Mod. So this was kind of like the blueprint for what they turned into Pro Mod, which is way past this old girl now.
But you were sort of the original Pro Mod.
Well, I was the one thrown out the most. I had the most fun because I just don't accept rules.
Well, you know, that's kind of the drag racer thing. You know, people tell us how to do stuff and we go, well, I bet you if I work on it hard enough, I can make it work better than that.
The only thing we need is safety, and to encourage our racers, we've got a great family of racers.
Now, you're talking about the Rocky Mountain Superchargers?
All the drag racers, really, if they've got the right attitude, they're a great family of racers of every kind. If you break down on the highway and somebody will stop, a drag racer will stop and give you a tire off the trailer. It's the best.
Now, how many years have you been racing?
I started in June of '62.
Wow, 62. Woo! And how many years with this car?
This year, this car was built in '90.
Okay, so you got about 23 years with this car.
Right, 3,600 passes.
3,600 passes. Wow.
11,000 passes total.
Now, somehow, after all these years, you've ended up with the Rocky Mountain Superchargers. A great group of guys put on a great show, and you're one of those people. What's your impression of the Rocky Mountain Superchargers?
A fun, exciting group to watch. These cars are not easy to drive. And if you want to see really, really fast and hard to handle cars, that's what these are. Cars that go fast and smooth and everything else, all the electronics, nah. These things are a handful to drive.
Now, I heard that you're running 750s, shifting the whole time. You got your hands full. Lenko. What's the fastest this car's gone?
723 at 196 miles an hour.
Woo, that's fast.
And broke a lot of parts.
That was an expensive pass.
Yes, it was down in Enos, Texas. And they said, you got 5 minutes to run or go home. We'd just driven 18 hours through tornadoes and hail and rain and all this good stuff. Well, you run when they tell you that. And I had tuned it by calling the weather station in Enos, Texas, and finding out what the forecast was.
Not necessarily what the conditions were, what they were estimating the conditions to be.
5 minutes after I got there, they said you have 5 minutes to run or go home. So I had tuned it in Colorado by the forecast, and it was off some. A little bit too lean, and it blew a lot of things apart, but it went really, really, really fast for this old car.
Now, was that exhibition, race?
No, it was in Pinks All Out, quick 8.
Oh, okay.
Kind of fun. Clay Milliken kind of yelled at me a little bit, but that's all right.
He probably is just jealous because he didn't have that car.
Oh, no. Clay's a nice guy.
He's got that boring nitro top fuel dragster.
Boring.
Nothing like a door car.
Well, Clay's a nice guy, and he's got some experience that is hard to come by. But he was kind of fun to come over and say, you got that car running a little bit, don't you? And, well, now I've got a problem because it's all on fire and I've got to fix some things. But it was nice.
Now, anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors, any friends, any family?
Well, I've got one little girlfriend for 32 years. She's right there. Catherine Godwin. And we call her Shortness because she's short. But she's my only crew. And then, of course, the sponsors would be my own shop, Linear Speed Shop in Colorado Springs. And then I own part of a little company called Snyder Cams in California. And I deal with really reputable people. And some of the decals on the car, they speak volumes because I won't sell what's not good. And I use what works.
Have a good pass.
You betcha.
Thank you. Well, what do you think, Diana-Mite? Pretty cool car, huh?
You know, it's my favorite color, Lucky. You just can't have a race car without painting it red.
Look at this thing lift.
You know, this was one of those guys that I was talking to over the weekend, and I was like, wow, man, this guy is really interesting to talk to. I got to do an interview with this guy. And just an amazing personality, and he's so outgoing. And
animated.
Oh, great guy. So, hey, we're going to be back with Hot Rod Bob Beck and the Great American Auto Scene right after this break. Stay tuned, because, Bob, what are you talking about?
We're talking about the Ute.
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Hey, yeah, we're talking about the Utes, you know. We can do that.
I'm Phil Burkhart, and you're watching Speed Scene Live.
M&H Tires, makers of racing tires that give you the best bite for the buck. You paid a lot for that horsepower. Make sure you use it all. M&H Tires has the best compounds available for maximum traction. Go to mandhtires.com. That's mandhtires.com. Buy direct and save at the website and mention the Speed Scene for a 5% discount. That's right, mandhtires.com. Call them at 661-324-4773. M&H Tires has tech guides ready to answer your questions or to recommend the best tire for you, slicks or DOT. M&H Tires has it all. M&H were the first to create racing tires for muscle cars and also the first to create racing tires for sport compact cars. Legendary M&H Tires. Shop online, mention the Speed Scene, and save 5%. Get the best racing tires, great personal service, and save 5%. Go to mandhtires.com or call them at 661-324-4773. mandhtires.com.
Everyone in the armed forces that has served to defend our great country and our freedom, all of us here in the United States of America would like to offer our sincere appreciation for all that you do and all that you've done. To every family that has made a sacrifice for us, we thank you.
Welcome back to more of Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, and thefolk.com.
Oh, yeah, and it's another Tuesday night. You've got Diana-Mite live in studio. We are back after, well, a short stint off the air, right, Lucky? But we're here.
Off the air? I thought I was on the air. That's what Bruce said every time I called in.
Yeah, right. So he told you that. We are back in the flesh.
All that time I spent in Walmart parking lots in my toter home.
Yeah. Here, I'll rub your ego for you, Lucky, so you feel better.
Yeah, my ego's lower than that.
Dang.
Shh, Mike.
Lucky's going to be one of those wall Martians.
Wall Martians? Well, you know what? Hey, why don't we listen and see what Bob has in... Well, Bob, give us a little gas.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Beck, and you've got gas again here on Speed Scene Live. Tonight, we're going to talk about Utes. It's Truckin' Tuesday, and we've got some trucks for you to see. Because, in the U.S., we had the Falcon Rancheros. We had El Caminos. But they were all over the place. And it was an idea that actually started, back in the 30s. We had the Studebaker Express Coupes. We had Hudson pickup trucks.
Yeah. El Caminos.
The El Caminos and the Rancheros really caught on here in the States, but we were behind the times. The Australians had us by a bunch. They'd been building Utes for a number of years. But in 1959, Chevrolet decided to come up with the El Camino, and it was an immediate hit. They made it for a few years, and in the end, some people made their own. So I had to take a shoebox Chevy and make it into a pickup truck. And so he made one. Now, I don't know if that thing started out as a station wagon, but
who knows? It's got style, though. It's got
does.
style.
Well, Chevrolet built the El Camino from 59 to 60, then took a hiatus, and in 1964 came back with the El Camino based on the Malibu chassis.
Have you ever heard why they did that? I was wondering.
Why, Bob? Minds want to know.
Curious. They didn't have a platform for it. The 61 and later Chevy just didn't have a style for it. So when they came out with the Malibu, that was a mid-size. It was a frame-on-body car. It was small enough without being bulbous, and they were able to make a pickup truck again, and it became a hit. They had SS versions, they had big block versions, they had small block versions, they had the utility versions, and it stayed strong. Now, they almost brought it back before Pontiac was eliminated. It was going to come back as a Pontiac. They were going to use the platform that the GTO was on, the Holden, and bring it back.
GTO.
But for some reason, the bean counters at Generous Motors, who don't necessarily have the best car sense, we're going to bring it back as a Pontiac.
Wow, I wonder what they would call it, because it couldn't be an El Camino.
No, that
Pontiac El Camino?
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, Lucky had a 65 El Camino that was a winner out at
There you go.
Los Angeles County Raceway
I
for
love that
many
car.
a year. And that car was, gosh, it was awesome, right, Lucky?
I love that El Camino, man. And, it's such a great vehicle. It was fun to drive on the street, and then later it became a race car only.
And you know what? There were so many places that you could cut metal out to lighten the car.
Exactly.
I'd come out, and he'd have the Sawzall, and there'd be pieces of metal on the floor, and I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Don't ask, don't tell.
That's it. Yeah, just hopefully the breeze doesn't bother you as you're driving down the road. But, Chevrolet had the El Camino, but so did GMC. They had a version of it. At one point, they called it a Sprint.
A Sprint.
Yeah, and they had another name for it later on, but GMC had some El Caminos for a while.
I did not know that, Bob.
Yeah, and it was
They
very
called
limited.
it the Jimmy later.
Well,
I thought that Jimmy was also
full size.
I thought that Jimmy was the Blazer.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
It was. I forgot. I've got them here, but I forgot. I wrote down and left my notes at home, of course. But
Man, it's funny going through those iterations. I'm thinking there were concept vehicles that Pontiac might have built back in the day that might have been a truck configuration. I just don't remember.
And there's some interesting things. Now, I didn't bring the pictures of it, but I took them and I forgot to load them up for you. But at West Coast Customs this year, there was a Cadillac pickup.
Okay.
Because the chassis and the body were very similar. The doors had the same shape on the El Camino in 59 as the 59 and
what is
60
that?
Cadillac. That is an Australian Ute.
Okay,
Now,
so that's the genuine.
That looks like an
genuine.
old Ford.
It is. It
okay.
is. It's a Ford of Australia. They used a shortened sedan or coupe body and made a pickup body out of it. But they were the first ones to make a car-style truck.
And you're talking about these weren't custom jobs; they
No.
were factory built.
Factory built.
Yeah.
Because I saw some of those Cadillacs, they called them Cowboy Cadillacs.
Cowboy Cadillac. They were flower cars.
They were custom jobs.
Yeah, there was a coach builder here in, there was one in L.A. that was making station wagons and pickup trucks, and they called them flower cars.
Yeah, for
Cadillacs.
funerals, I think.
For funerals,
for hauling,
exactly.
flowers. Yeah.
And then you've got your typical rancheros. Now,
Hey, there's Bruce's car.
Yeah, you have a few of those, don't you, Bruce?
Yeah, it's a couple sitting outside.
yeah, but well, never mind. He's got there's pieces and
What?
Never mind. Now we've also got a picture coming up if we haven't already passed it. Now this was the last of the Falcon-based rancheros, but it was only Falcon from the nose forward. It was Fairlane from the doors back, and the following year they ended up with the stack headlight Fairlane.
Yeah,
all they had to do was change the fenders.
I like that sort of squared off look. I kind of dug this one.
Yeah, they were neat. They were a good driving car. They were along the size of the Malibus at the time.
Sure.
And the rancheros were just as popular.
Are you thinking Project, Bruce?
Oh, I got so many projects.
Come on.
I can't.
Well,
You temptress, you.
He's getting rid of the Mustang. So yeah.
Hey, maybe we should turn that into a Ute.
Yeah, I've seen it done, but don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
No.
No, convertibles.
Oh, I remember this. That's like a Torino.
That is. A Ford-based Ranchero was the Torino body at that point in time. And you could get them all the way up to the 429s, the Cobra Jets. They were all available in these, so you had high-performance pickup trucks. That was for the gentleman plumber and such.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's
the full...
That's a Gran Torino.
Gran Torino, yeah. I don't remember that at all. So that's like mid-70s?
That was just early 70s. That's before the bumper laws, so it's still got the small bumpers.
So
Gotcha,
73?
Yeah, 70, 72 or 73.
I love how they all have this
Yeah.
super bright yellow stripe,
yeah.
regardless
Look at
of what the
me.
paint job
Well,
is.
yeah.
Look at me, yeah.
See, now there's the later ones. That was based on the same basic front end as they had on the T-Bird.
Yeah, the T-Bird and a bit of, what, LTD?
Yeah,
I guess?
LTD.
LTD in it,
Uh-huh.
you know. At one of the car shows I went to a couple of weeks ago, there was a guy that had put Mercury Montego body
Oh,
pieces
wow.
on it and made it look like it was a factory
Sure.
unit, just like your Etzl-Rero.
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
Now
what is
here
this?
is the Holden.
Oh,
This-
that's a great car.
That was what was going to be the Pontiac pickup, and it was supposed to come in along with the GTO.
I would have loved that car.
That does look pretty.
The marketing report said it would. GM could bring it back as a Chevrolet. It's just simple badge engineering.
Yeah.
But look what it took them. The G8 went out when Pontiac closed down 3 years ago. It's taken them 3 years to come up with an SS badge for it and sell it as a Chevrolet.
Yeah.
So,
Go
and here's
figure.
another shot of it. Now, this has got the Pontiac nose on it.
Wow.
Sure.
When I was with GM and we were at the proving grounds in Milford, that is what we saw running around there. They were testing them. They were great.
It's not a bad-looking car,
Independent front and rear suspension, 6-liter, 300 plus horsepower.
Wow.
It was a GTO with a pickup bed,
Ah, beautiful.
and it was great. Now there's another shot of the Holden with the Holden front
That's a
end.
different front end.
Yeah, now they have a bunch of different
That kind,
trim
that
levels.
actually looks like a Mustang front end.
Yeah, with that grill.
Doesn't it?
Now here's an early one for you. That's an early Valiant. That was the Chrysler Ute down in Australia. Now they had a lot of different cars there, and here is an early.
Jeez, I don't
Yeah,
even know what that
there's-
is.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I think it is a Holden.
Well, and
One of the early
there's a
50s
Chrysler
Holden.
Cub
Oh,
banner.
Chrysler
or
banner.
Club
Yeah, no,
banner
that
across
is the
front.
Chrysler. They had different body sizes. There's one coming up that is really neat. It's got big, tall fenders.
Oh, that poor car.
Yeah, that poor car.
This
Yeah,
one is
it's-
another. It's a.
It's a Falcon. Yeah, the Ford.
Why does that make me smile?
You know
Is
why?
it smile or laugh?
See, they even have rednecks in Australia.
Well, now, isn't it true, though, that grill looks very
Yeah.
similar to, I think it was the first Mad Max movie, because that was done in Australia, and he drove like this supercharged
Falcons. Yep.
That was long after we discontinued them.
Yeah, well, they would, and here's another the Valiant version.
That's a great looking
That's got the front end of the U.S. Valiant on it.
How about it? Oh,
There's another one. Yeah, you got to customize them too.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
See, now one thing they did that we didn't do is they used the 4-door doors, so that's why the roof pillars are bigger. When we built those trucks here, they
were the
used
two
the 2-door, so it was easier to get in and out of.
Yeah,
But this is the Valiant version. Here's another Valiant version.
Oh boy, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a good comment.
It's a Barracuda with a pickup bed.
Oh,
Interesting.
no.
And here's a later one. This was based on the Dodge Dart sheet metal.
Okay. Wow, that's a.
This one-
look
now
at
look at
that.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Now,
You know,
that's
the
a
paint
50s.
kind of makes it look
Yeah,
good.
That's
Yeah.
that's a mid-50s Dodge.
I think the older ones have a little more style to them.
Oh,
They're, you know, they're more bulbous and roundy, and they're
They got
cuter.
lots of good
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
I can't believe I've heard the word bulbous twice in one of the
Bulbous,
shows.
yeah. There reminds me of a girl I once
I
knew.
missed the first time.
All right, now this
Did I
one's
say it?
No, I did. But here's a Toyota. See, even
What?
Toyota got
Toyota?
into it. Yeah.
So that is not a Toyota pickup; it's a Ute.
It's a Ute, but it's
Based
a Toyota
on, like-
pickup.
So these are
based on a
all from
Crown.
On the
Aus-
Crown, exactly.
Okay.
all from Australia.
No, this particular one is from out of Japan.
Oh, okay.
What do you
And one
know?
of the things, here's one, Shiggy from Moon Eyes brought that one in to the U.S. for a car show.
I'm sorry.
a couple
What did
years
you
ago.
call that?
That's a Toyota Crown.
Oh, I thought you said Shiggy.
Shiggy, the owner of Moon Eyes.
Oh, that's somebody's name.
That's his name. He brought that. Yeah.
You thought he was cussing,
It's a little
didn't ya?
Shiggy here. No.
Okay.
I was gonna
Didn't
say it
know if
doesn't-
you were sneezing. I didn't know to say God bless you.
Gesundheit, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we could, but I don't know if they like it.
I was going to say, it don't look that bad.
No,
Why do you have to
not
follow
bad.
it?
Righty.
It's got a cool right-hand drive, inline 6-cylinder, 3-speed on the tree. I mean, but some great products. You know, you want an interesting vehicle to build, the Utes. You know? Bring
I
back
like
the
it.
Ute.
I like it.
Yeah, bring back the. You were going back in time to Bob Beck's car.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
mine.
Here he is.
A little
So
Falcon.
realistically, any car that transitioned to a pickup bed is considered a Ute. So the
Yeah.
El Camino, the Ranchero, all those are some form of a Ute.
Well, it's a utility vehicle. It's short for
Oh,
utility
okay.
vehicle, and that's the name Australians coined.
But it has the same front end as
Of the
its
car.
counterpart.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
car with a pickup bed.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
One we missed was a homemade Corvette Ute.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's in there someplace.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
I have seen an old Hudson Ute that
Well,
was turned into a race car that
Yeah.
I was just knocked my socks off.
Wow.
And that is an actual production car.
And that's back
Sure.
from the 40s, I think, or maybe 50s.
30s. Late
30s. Oh,
30s.
yeah.
How about it?
Well, you know, I remember many years ago, my dad had an El Camino, and he said it was the best of both worlds because you had a pickup truck and a car.
Yeah.
And instead of having two vehicles, you could just have an El Camino, and it served both purposes.
And they were comfortable to drive. They weren't rough riding like a pickup truck is.
Yeah.
Nice. I actually did really good at the truck drags every year at Palmdale in the El Camino because it raced like a car.
Yep.
It did really well.
Remember how you'd put your tailgate down for that airflow?
High-speed tailgate down.
And then some of the guys told me that a trick they used to do with the El Caminos is they'd fill the inside of the tailgate with concrete.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That way it would give it more, a little more weight on the
in
back.
the rear end. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I never tried that trick because once you go concrete, you can't go back.
That would be a problem.
Yeah. And I figured that one day I would forget and take the tailgate off, and it would kill me.
Well, just if you lowered it down, just picking it back up again. There's your exercise right there.
What kind of an obituary would that be? Lucky
Very
Hudson.
fun.
Men killed at tailgate party.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, Bruce, we've got some more footage of the Speed Scene Live Nationals, and let me tell people that are watching a little bit about some of the people that raced. Now, we had 3 categories. We had the box, the no box, and the quick 32. And actually what they did was they split the quick 32 into quick dragster and quick door car. And Mike Seacrest won quick dragster. He was number 1 qualifier with a 7:05, and he ended up winning the final with a 7:10 and an 0:16 light. Steve Berry was runner-up in quick dragster. Quick door car, Kyle Lane is driving a really nice 69 Nova. He cut a 0:08 reaction time, ran 8:43 to beat Russ Rugby in his 69 Camaro. And we've got some great footage of that I'm going to have on next week. We'll show you some of these final rounds. The quick final, it always bums me out when you got to race the door car against the dragster because I always feel the dragster has the advantage. Well, not this time because Kyle got the win. As I don't know what happened to Mike Seacrest. He had to lift. I don't know if he had a mechanical issue or what. Hey, here was one of my favorite cars. Camouflage race car.
Is that a Monza?
Chevy Monza.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, I want to mention this young man right here, Drew Prosser. Was at the first Speed Scene Live Nationals, came back again. Him and his dad have been racing this car quite a bit, all over the finals of Junior Dragster and Junior Comp, and they've been doing really well with this car. It's a transition from a Junior Dragster to a full size. Runs a stock motorcycle motor.
They still run about 9 seconds, don't they?
Yeah, he runs really fast.
Holy moly!
And great car. They're not as long, so you could fit them in a regular garage. You can put them in a small trailer. And this gentleman is a great driver. He's got a few sponsors on the car. He's a great representative for his sponsors, and he did very well out there. Well, I was telling you about the quick final. Kyle got the win as the 7-second quick dragster slowed down to a 15-second run, so we don't know. But there was a great variety of cars like this car running the Speed Scene Live Nationals. I think there was even one of our video clips shows a Lamborghini or something.
So this is a newer Challenger, right?
Yeah.
What class did he race in?
I think he ran in no box.
No box. So no electronics.
No electronics. And in no electronics, Todd Morse won with one of those. He actually got one of those cool custom-made jackets we were showing on the show with the Speed Scene Live logo and the Curry Rear Ends logo. He got the jacket from Curry Rear Ends. His 63 Chevy Nova ran closer to the number, even though Chris Gray had the better light in his 79 Capri. It was a 007 to 017. And how often do you get to hear the word Capri when talking about drag cars, huh?
Not unless the backup babe's wearing them.
Well, it was a Mercury product, right? The Mercury Capri.
Yeah, and what was the other one that was a mimic of the Mercury Capri? Well, actually, the Ford Mustang.
Sure. The Fox
Ford
body.
Mustang.
They had the Capri. They called the Mercury version the Capri.
That's right.
I think before that the Capri was an Opal. a rebadged Opal?
No,
Was
no,
it?
no.
Oh, you guys are
No,
getting
not
way
an Opal.
deep
I'm
here.
sorry. It was a German
That's before
Ford.
my time.
Yeah, Ford. Yeah, it was the Mercure was the later one.
Yeah.
The Capri came in the early 70s.
Yeah.
You're right. My bad.
And
Was
check
it-
this
Oh,
out.
wait a minute.
Talk about barn finds.
Oh, baby.
How about an original car that
Model
comes out
T.
once a year?
Wow.
I can see
And-
why.
This gentleman, the Camaro, is his buddy. These are two friends that came in. This is a grudge match, believe it or not.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
What is that?
Imagine.
they're setting it up.
What type of handicap does the? No, that's a Model
The
A or
handicap,
Model
it's a
something.
Model T, but
Yeah.
the handicap is driving it.
Watch how long the Camaro has to sit there.
1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 2007, 1008,
Does he have a sand
1009,
clock?
1010, 1011, 2012, 2013. Well, about 14 seconds.
Now look how far down the track is when the camera pans down. It looks like the car is at the finish line, and unfortunately the Camaro got the win.
It looks like horses were pulling that other car. It was moving so slow.
You know, but it was a great car. The gentleman that was driving it was really a great guy and a lot of fun. Had a great time. And, you know, it just sort of epitomized the spirit of the Kansas drag racers. We're here to have fun. We're here to have a good time. Yeah, we're going to race, but we're here to have fun.
Yeah.
So,
Fun first, winning second, right?
That's right. That's right. Hey, Bruce, see if you can find that last speed scene. There you go.
I think
there
we
you go.
got it.
Here's a car that I actually raced, and he beat me. He's running high nines.
The
Now,
purple one?
The purple one. This is
Is that a CUDA?
Yeah, that's a CUDA.
It's one of those. It's a
Plum
pretty
crazy.
rare one, isn't it?
Yeah, the purple color. And
What's that color called? That's a special color.
Yeah, it's plum crazy.
Plum crazy. You got it. I remember that.
And on the side it says RAA or
ARR.
ARR. That's my dyslexia kept
Yeah,
getting in there.
that was from the Trans Am series.
Oh, so that wasn't like a pirate saying. It's
Yeah, you've got an R there, fella. Yes.
Well, you know, this is a great track with great people, and I got to mention in the electronics class, James Kunkel from Wichita, Kansas. That's right. Drove right past that Wichita track, came out to Great Bend in his 67 Nova, got one of those great-looking jackets, taking out N.J. Ritter from Alma, Oklahoma in the final. And, you know, we had a great time. We couldn't finish the race on Saturday due to that storm that blew through, so we managed to finish the race on Sunday, and they also had the regular team race, you know, pro, high school, all that stuff going on. But what a great event, what a great track, and you know, I got to thank everybody involved with this track for showing so much hospitality to a drag racer like me coming out from California. Oh, and right here, this is Hank's Nova right here. And Hank's responsible for bringing me out, and Hank was showing off and cut a 001 light in eliminations. So
in eliminations.
yeah,
Wow.
he's
Impressive.
no slouch, huh? No, that's impressive. And these guys know how to race. I'll tell you, each and every one of the racers that came up to the line was a tough person to beat.
Well, they put on a great event out there at Great Bend, and you know the hospitality is awesome. If you ever get a chance to go to that racetrack, make sure you do. You tell them that Lucky and Diana-Mite from the Speed Scene Live crew sent you, and tell everybody out there hello for us.
And we're going to have more footage next week. We've also got a bunch of footage from the NMCA race at Pomona.
That's where it was,
Pomona, yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to have that on. We've got a bunch of cool stuff. We're going to talk to one of the best top alcohol dragster drivers in the country next week also. So we got a lot going on. But, Bruce, don't you think it's time for us to find out what's going on all over the country?
I think so, sir.
Well, I hear that special music, and that's what's going on. It's brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends. Curry's got your rear end ready and waiting for you. You tell him Diana-Mite sent you. Also brought to you by Headman Hustler Headers. Hey, you want your car to go faster? You better put a set of Headmans on there. And also DragRaceResults.com. You want to hear what's going on around the country? Go to DragRaceResults.com.
And speaking of Headman Headers, next week we're going to have Vic Wood, who's one of the motivating forces behind Headman Headers. He's going to be live in studio. He's got one of those Australian accents that Diana-Mite likes so much.
They make me weak at the knees, Lucky.
Yeah, well, he'll be happy to hear that. So will his wife. And
you had to throw that in, didn't you? That little jab.
Spoil the mood.
We're also going to have Alex the Car Girl live in studio. She's going to tell us about how her weekend went. She got a brand new rear end in her race car.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to define that, Lucky.
How's your rear end doing? Yeah.
Yes, well, you ask her when you see her at the track. She'll be at Las Vegas this weekend. but in addition to the race at Las Vegas, this weekend, June 29th at Bakersfield, you heard about it at the top of the show. Super stock combo race, plus SoCal Super Street and SoCal Pro Gas. They'll be holding 2 races at Bakersfield.
And June 28th through the 30th, the inaugural World Junior Dragster Challenge at Mid-Michigan Motorplex.
And June 28th to the 30th, the 50th Golden Anniversary 50K race at Mountain Park Dragway.
Well, it's a popular weekend for racing indeed. June 29th and 30th, the Southern Survival Shootout at Music City Raceway.
And June 30th, 1320 Extreme at MIR. We've had the opportunity to meet a lot of the 1320 Extreme racers when we were out at the Cecil County track, and they're a great bunch of people. June 30th, the Fortune Hunter 5K. Come on out to MIR and go home with part of $5,000 in prize money.
Nice.
And what the 10.5 race, that's going to be July 26th and 27th at Woodburn. Hey, that's up in my old neck of the woods, Oregon. That's 10 grand, last man standing. 10 big ones.
Now, Diana-Mite, not only are they giving away 10 grand, but if you pre-enter, you race for free.
For free.
And one racer walks away with 10 grand. This is a race where all the racers put in their own money, no sponsorship, nothing. They all chipped in. They got 10 grand, and they're going to give it away.
All about the racing, Lucky.
All right, 20th Anniversary World Super Pro Challenge, August 1st through the 4th at Mid-Michigan Motorplex.
And ANRA Summer Nationals, that's going to be later in August, so you get time to prep for that. August 23rd through the 25th for the ANRA event.
August 24th, Match Race Madness at Verona. What? We had Steve Sherman in here talking about that race, and man, there's a lot of buzz going on. People are picking races and pairing up, and it's going to be a sellout. So August 24th, Match Race Madness at Verona, California.
And Pigeon Forge Shades of the Past Car Show. That's going to be September 6th and 7th at Dollywood Splash Mountain in Tennessee. Lucky, are you going to be doing that?
That's right, man. That's one of my favorite events.
You're just hoping to see Dolly. I know you.
Yeah,
Dolly.
I'm going to splash mountain
somebody's mountain, huh?
Yeah, well, that's a great car show. Fantastic cars, and I love that Tennessee area right there. Those Smoky Mountains and that whole town.
You love that Beale Street, is what you love.
Well,
Can't get you away from that barbecue.
That's out in Memphis. This is on the other side of the country.
You'll make a little detour. I know better.
This is where everybody sets their lawn chairs out along the street the whole weekend. If you're not at the car show, you're cruising the town.
Wow.
Okay. All right, the first ever New England Hot Rod Reunion. It's a triple play for NHRA, September 12th through the 14th in Epping, New Hampshire.
And I was talking about the ANRA season finals. In fact, I'm talking about that. Look at me. I'm all ANRA. I'm all ANRA tonight.
You're the ANRA man.
Because that's coming up October 11th through 13th. Hey, Diana-Mite, where did you say you guys
We're
are going to
be up at New Hampshire. This, it's like the inaugural race up there, and Lucky's going to be taking the race cars out there. I'm going to be flying on a little airplane because I'm not going to be driving that far.
No.
And then hopefully I'll be taking a little train tour to look at the beautiful leaves.
Springtime or fall up there is great. But
I was watching the pros last weekend on ESPN racing that New Hampshire track. They had a big event out there, and everybody's talking about, I guess it's been a few years since they've been up there, and I had a chance to watch all these guys, and the whole time I'm thinking, okay, I see the return road, I see the staging lanes, okay, here's where I'm going to stage my car, so I'm already mentally prepared.
You're psyching yourself out for it, right? Yeah.
Mental, all right.
Yes.
Jeez.
I'm already prepping all my fellow workers and everybody don't bug me in September. I'm going to have fun.
There you go.
It's going to be about Diana.
Well, Diana-Mite, next week we're going to be right doing the same deal. Bruce, Hot Rod Bob, looking forward to having you guys here. It's so good to be back live in studio.
Man, great to see you guys back. And, hey, thanks for joining us for Speed Scene Live. Whoever the crew might be, I know we had some great shows in the absence. You can check them out at the archives page. If you want to check back some distant shows into the past, put on the binoculars and join our YouTube channel and take a look at some of our stuff there. But, yeah, great to see you, Dynamite, back in studio.
Great to be seen.
You know, Bruce, I want to thank Dar and Donnie and you too, Bob.
And
of
Alex.
Course, and Brian Layton, everybody for coming in. They did a great job while I was out on the road, and it's so nice to be able to go racing and know you can depend on really good talent.
I know, man. We had some great sort of specialty shows, of course, with Hot Rod Bob last week, and a couple of weeks ago, Brian Layton, and, of course, in the middle of all that, darn Donnie. So, man, some great fun. All right, coming up next, the encore presentation of this very show, in case you missed anything. We'll be back next week, right here at Speed Scene Live. Thanks.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, and TheFoat.com.